that's the, for lack of a better words, the track yardstick. I suspect that third rail is got to be from the first rail. I call it the first rail. That's the third rail. You can say that's the second rail. That'll be the first rail. Having got the proper dimensions within the specs, they tightened that baby up. And I didn't get them putting back the rail back together, but I caught them like right at the end of putting this first section of my upgrade here at West 4th Street. If you want to see how they take these tracks apart, and the third rail is a little bit different because the rail sits on that insulator right there, and the insulator is about we would say about 7-8 feet apart, each insulator, and that's what they sit on. They don't touch, not the third rail doesn't touch anything else but those insulators. And I think those, if I'm not wrong, those insulators are made out of ceramic. Yeah, I think that's made out of ceramic. So that's how you get the insulation from the electricity. Don't become a don't become a ceramic support on the third line of the MTA, New York City MTA. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are ceramic. Those are the same insulator you'll see if you look up on the pole. There's some telephone pole, but definitely on the electrical pole and the electrical towers. Those are the same type of insulators you'll see. You got to be kidding me. Look at that shit. What the heck? This is New York City. So the kids, that's their fun. Let's see who could do jumping jacks and get back on the train without getting left at the station. Wow. So while they having fun, having no idea of exactly what it takes to get that train running, the precision that it takes to put that third rail into place, or the precision that it takes to even remove the old line. As you see, every inch of this third rail that's been replaced here at West 4th has incorporated that that aluminum strip. So I guess that's definitely gonna be the standard of what third rail is gonna be. Excuse me, man. Excuse me. Is this the first station that you put that type of third rail into? With the aluminum strip? No? It's been done before? Okay. So it's been done before. But I'm just seeing it now. But so the one at the signal light itself is right on the money, and we'll say that's about 8 feet between each ceramic, and we go all the way back to there, that ladder, and we get a half-inch variation, so they're gonna break it back down in perspective. In the earlier video I did last night, I touched a little bit in the description about what caused the Japanese to overtake the Americans in the automobile industry. And it was precision of fit in assembling the machinery, well, automobiles. Yeah, because we tend to stick to a loose fit type of build in the American car industry, and the Japanese were more precision, more force fit, where we could just put it on by hand. They would use a press, so you were dealing with centimeters, and we were dealing with 16ths and 1/28 of an inch. Bringing it into spec, and he found that it's a ½ inch off, and that's a wood measuring device. I don't know what you call that. And they're getting a ½ inch variation as their need to recalibrate, refit. So it doesn't matter what the measuring device is, you can get it right. You want that train to run fast, and this is a station, so it's not we're gonna be decreasing speed, but if you have wheel scrubbing back there and wheel loose up here, you're promoting wear. See, And no matter, in some cases, no matter how much oil and lubrication you put, that wear is gonna happen if you don't stick to closed specification. See, those are, they're using tools that's probably been figured out or incorporated in the build of these tracks over 100 years ago when they were, but it still worked. It's the machinery itself, not the insulation, that give you your efficiency. How precise is the machinery? Because believe me, those old boys back in the days, they damn sure worked out some precision, even in wood tools. It's only today that we say, it don't really matter. Go ahead, we'll figure it out. Those boys back in the days, when they were digging these tunnels or installing the track, they dealt with precision. And if it wasn't right, they went and break it down and put it back together. That's why I say New York City has the infrastructure. All it needs is proper maintenance. The inefficiency in the New York City transportation delivery, I would say, is in the precision. As you see, these are when, and I'm not going to get into it, I'm not nobody's supervisor. As you see, wait for these to be installed. And you see the simple tool that works. And you can hear, and you listen in real time for all the trains that's going through the station. And this is just downstairs. This is four trains down here, and then there is 3 upstairs. So there is 7 different trains that goes through the station, and the M train isn't even running today. So on the rush hour, the trains, it's necessary for the trains to run even closer together. They're running leisurely now, and it sounds like there's a big racket going on. So those old boys, they really stuck to that. If we build it, they'll come. There's no reason why this can't be a money maker. So even that fulcrum, the fulcrum point, he just upped the fulcrum point probably like 2 inches. And by upping it about 2 inches, you put leverage of probably about 1,000 pounds. 500, 750 pounds. It gave him more leverage. Just right, yeah. But how many of you guys know that you move the fulcrum point? I mean, it's not rocket science, it's a simple thing. But you see that, pole that they're using fit exactly into there. And that's where the 3rd line sits. So when I tell you those old boys work these things out precisely, if you get employed by the transit authority. Don't ask why they do it like that. They do it like that because it works. Until you come up with a system that works better, believe me. I'm giving those old boys their props. They wasn't just ditch diggers, they were machine manufacturers, tool makers. See, they weren't just machinists, they were tool makers. And a tool maker meaning that you can use that part over and over again and it will give you efficiency. So until you pay attention to your day-to-day work and you can make that tool more efficient, give these boys their prop and give this job its prop. I love trains. I love trains because it's one of the last industry where, apart from people using guns, and guns are a very major invention. Apart from that, the railroad industry, subway, freight trains. First railroad is one of the last necessary ingenious implementation of man's ingenuity. And it had last night he was walking up and down the track, but each about a lapse of about a minute and a half. But other than that, this is true time between renting that half an inch outer spectrum from that signal light to that ladder. Then they install that section to there. You'd say about 16 feet, 18 feet, and then they're on the next 18 feet right there. And So between that Utica jig and that breaker bar, that's what they're using to get that precision. We'll see how precise that is when they take the final. I don't know how far they're gonna go before they take another, but they're moving pretty quick. And that's a 4-man team. And you see, that's what they're coming from. And that's a half an hour, about 15, 20 minutes. And they already did 100 feet. You got a well-oiled team with two wooden, what looks to be simple pieces of machinery, simple pieces of tools, keeping that precision going. So the technology, we got the technology, as they used to say, with the $60 million man. And I say the $1 million view from an R32. We have the technology to rebuild him, to rebuild her. And this is West Fort Control Tower. Hub station. And if you listen, you will hear the trains moving in and out of the station. It is Sunday. Saturday. It is Saturday, December 22nd, 9:50. I went to sleep and I'm back up, harassing these guys at their work. Well, not harassing, but catching them. I didn't see them put it back together, but one of the third rail guys informed me that they have used this technology before. I didn't ask them whether or not it's in the MTA system, but this is the first time I'm seeing it. I don't know if any one of you guys looking at it will ever say, I've seen it before. They're moving at a pretty good clip. And I guess they'll check it again after they go so far. So now here is the kicker. I would think that just screwing that in with that hydraulic nut driver, it would have a tight fit. But exactly what they do, the lead man on that operation comes in and bangs it in with a sledgehammer. and that has to give it the tightest fit over trial and error. But I would think that screwing it in would be. But I guess when you bang it in, that last inch and a half, it gathers material that causes a tighter wedge. Yep, I guess it does cause a tighter wedge. Think about it. You see, because there's material screwed in between those threads. So when you bang it in, it wedges that material all together. Wow. Trial and error. The old system still works with simple tools, with precision, with measuring. It's like a water clock that still works. So here is the other kicker. Let's see if we can by sight the dimension of that third rail. the older track. And you really can't tell just by looking at it by sight like that. And like last night I said, the dimension remained the same. I am assuming, but I think it's a good assumption that that extra weight from that track has been removed from that central piece. That central piece, that's the central piece that you got to stay away from when you do this type of stuff. Don't go hanging off the side of the track, because I could clearly hear that train coming. But how quickly you can forget exactly how unstoppable the object that utilizes that track is. I mean, it's stoppable, but let's make sure that stopping power is the brake and not your head and not your body hanging over the side if you decide to do this, you see. And when you see these yellow tape, they mean don't be over the tape. You see what I'm saying? And they set up that tape because I'm telling you, don't be over the tape. But even if I stretch my arm that much, I'm still within safety. But since this is flexible, what you're gonna have people doing is leaning up against it. Don't do that. It's there at that it's there at that specification for your safety. So don't think I'm hanging all over me. I'm staying within the spec, just like they're staying within the spec. So remember that. They would have told me to get the heck out of here a long time ago if I was hanging over there. So we go from those old boys coming up with those simple tools, measuring tools that work, leverage device that works, to devices like that, escalators and elevators, and even electric clock that work. All they need is maintenance. And they actually did maintenance on this track before they decided to replace the entire track. They actually removed some of those ceramic ceramic columns. I don't think you call them columns. That's a column. But it sits on what the third rail said. They actually came in and removed some of those, and then they just decided to rip the whole thing out and just make it a precise thing. Because if you listen to Governor Cuomo, he's talking about having a much smoother ride from Brooklyn to Manhattan, or from Manhattan to Brooklyn, from Port Authority to JFK, and such and such.